G'day and welcome to the first edition of the Footy Show.
21st season of existence.
Welcome back to Turn It Up.
Hello, welcome to the Sunday Footy Show. Get fired up.
The wait is over.
And let's kick it off now. Oh, how good's that?
Oh, look at that!
These women are creating history.
Get that into it. Champagne Rugby League.
Reece Wells will seal it from Brisbane. Cleary, who punches through the middle. Nailed! Got it back to Gunderson. How about that?
Everyone is on their feet.
12 going to go back to that. What a kick! Tackle of the century. Here goes Nico.
Not one person sitting.
Buster's got it. There you go.
Oh, yes.
Ponga, yes.
How have they done this?
The crowd roar.
This is what you live for as a footy fan.
Yes, hello and welcome to a very special edition of the Sunday Footy Show. We are coming to you live from Suncorp Stadium. It is prelim final day and we will be on air live all the way until 6 p.m. She's looking an absolute beauty today. And speaking of beauty, Billy Slater, you're looking nice and glowing.
You went straight past Joey. He's next to you.
You've got a little bit of sun.
We're in the sun, Joey.
How appropriate. Half good, half bad.
What an afternoon. The
Are you
weather's
just all
great.
bad in the darkness over here?
Just like dark corners. Do my best work in dark corners.
You were up here last night in Brisbane. How'd you go?
No, it was pretty quiet, mate.
Okay.
Pretty quiet.
Yeah, okay. No dark corners for Freddy. This is what is coming up on a very special edition of the Sunday Footy Show today. A Sunday spectacular with two prelims to look forward to in the NRLW and then the big one this afternoon. Two teams locked and loaded for the grand final. The Melbourne Storm and the Sydney Roosters snuck home in an epic over the Sharkies last night. Turn It Up is back, the award-winning segment. And who else would we talk to than the King, Wally Lewis, here at Suncorp Stadium. And a special edition of Freddy's Pass-Off as well, up at the Caxton. Hopefully our guests do better than JT did last time. I think that was in Magic Round.
What time's that at, by the way?
Around about 12:20ish, I would say.
PM or AM?
They'll only be a couple in by then, won't they?
Oh, surely. They're on it from 10 a.m. here,
10?
aren't they? I don't know.
Well, they won the AFL.
On a day like this?
They'll be going straight through.
Yeah.
Ooh,
No one's had any sleep.
could be
up here.
wild.
We'll start with our Sunday salutes. And Billy, how good were your Melbourne Storm on Friday night?
Yeah, and before you can improve on last year, back-to-back grand finals for the Melbourne Storm, saluting them. Before you can improve on that, you need to get back there, and that's what they did on Friday night. They got back to the grand final. Craig Bellamy, it's his 11th grand final in 23-year career as a head coach. What an amazing achievement for him. I thought Jerome Hughes was outstanding as well. A brave and courageous performance by Jerome. He's got that left arm heavily strapped. He broke it only 3 weeks ago. Also dislocated his shoulder a couple of months ago. So to get out there and put his team in the grand final, that was a brave effort by Jerome.
You okay? Are you a bit hot?
I'm all right.
Well, Suncorp Stadium's a beauty, and
Yeah.
the King, Wally Lewis, has chosen this as his resting place.
He's just over there
He's-
too. I reckon
He's
this
in
would be all time. Wally Lewis getting buried out next to his statue. Although I thought it'd be in here amongst the grounds. We know what Wally Lewis means to rugby league, but especially Queensland. And I reckon without Wally, I wonder if Origin would be what it is today without what the King produced for Queensland. So. Well, hopefully he's with us a little bit longer. He's listening over there, the King. But
There he is. Big
I
wave
think
for the
that
King.
I
He'll
reckon
be on
that'd
shortly.
be all time if Wally was buried here.
Well, we have a couple of members of the 9 team with statues. Does that mean, Billy, you're going to be, you and Cam?
You'd have to be next door to each other.
Buried
you
next
and
to
Cam.
each other. I'm not
Yeah.
sure if your family would.
Well,
Want that?
we were born an hour apart, so
Oh, it's only
there
fitting
you
then.
go. It's just fitting. Cam and I, there we are. There's Jonathan
There's
up in
JT.
Townsville after that heroic grand final win. Mel
Big
Meninga
Mal.
in Canberra.
There's a lot of ash there with Mal. He's a big man.
Lockie?
Yeah,
Lockie got one out there. Alfie?
Alfie.
Who else?
Alfie would be buried at the pub, wouldn't he?
Yeah, Caxton.
Yeah.
Just up the
Yeah,
road.
Yeah, Arthur Beatson's out there as well. So
Cool.
What a legend.
Yeah,
Lots
but
of
that
legends.
if it happens, I think it'd be all time.
Yeah.
Wouldn't
Come
it?
on, Wal.
Chat to Wally a little bit later on in Turn It Up. And Freddie, who are you saluting this special Sunday morning?
My salutes are the matchups this week. I thought on Friday night, the two captains, the two number 9s, they're both absolute warriors, Blake Brayley and, of course, Harry Grant. And then today, my matchup is the superstars. We've got Nathan Cleary up against Reece Walsh. The Mo is back. How good? The Mo. It was like the 80s when everyone had Mo's, but now our best 2 players in the game are wearing Mo's.
They're only little Mo's, but they're not the big, thick Mo.
Well, on Turn It Up, you got the King later. He had a massive Mo. Some of the great Mo's of the past, I think Cliff Lyons had a great Mo.
Dipper in the AFL.
Different code.
Late Sam Bacco.
The late Sam Bacco had a great Mo.
Rod Reddy, he was another one with a Mo.
Did you ever have a Mo?
Just starting to grow a Mo now. It's eluded me for 42 years.
Joey normally goes the beard, the full beard.
Oh, yeah, I like the beard. My Mo would be dirty.
Mo Fodawaker.
There's
This
my
is
Mo.
you back in the day. That's dirty. That's dirty.
Look at that for a grub.
That's why I didn't
Imagine
throw a
that
Mo.
man in the dark corner.
The great Cliffy Lyons. I think it was mesmerising people with the ball because I was looking at the Mo, and then, of course, the King. That was thick. Daryl Broman. He had a Mo for a big part of his career. Who else we got? Kerry Hemsley. What a wild bit of gear he was.
Yeah, Cameron Munster supported the Mo.
Terry Lamb.
So I reckon the biggest matchup would have been 40 years ago when Terry and the King, or Brett Kenny had a Mo too.
Red Dragon. Red Dragon had a good one.
That was dirty.
That was good.
That was dirty.
They all were. A-grade Sunday salutes for a very special morning. We're going to head up to Caxton Street now. That is where it is all happening. And we find Sammy Thaiday and Bronte Gilday.
Thanks, Emma. Well, we're in the almighty Caxton Street. Sam Thaiday, you know these streets particularly well, I think. The vibe is building down here.
I do know these streets really well. Actually, it's one of my favourite restaurants right here, the Black Hide. I'm known as the original Black Hide, actually. But there is a vibe going on here. We are coming to the famous Caxton Hotel. A little bit of magic round feel about this. The fans are out today, so I'm absolutely pumped for this game. We might need to stop in here quickly, if that's okay.
Oh, what's the time? 5 o'clock somewhere?
Well, I forgot my watch, and it always says 5 o'clock somewhere on my watch.
One more question for you, Sam.
No? Oh, okay. Yep.
This place was absolutely buzzing when the Broncos made it through against the Raiders a couple of weeks ago. Are you expecting it to be bigger again today?
Well, I know how hard it was to get a ticket to the game, so this is the next port of call. If you can't get a ticket to Suncorp Stadium, all the Broncos fans will be right here at Caxton, and I'm sure it will be buzzing when the Broncos win today. And
a chance to win a couple of tickets as well.
Oh, yes, yeah. Freddy's pass off later on versus me. I have been practicing, so, so there might be a chance for a couple of punters to get 2 tickets later on. So you have to see me in the car park. Not like that, but pass off.
Obvious question, who's your tip, by how much?
I've got to go with my heart. I'm going to say the Broncos. They've been playing some great footy. Penrith Panthers, we know that they're a champion team, but the vibe, it's Marbo, it's everything today. It's all about the Broncos.
I think all the punters here at the Caco would tell you the same thing, Em.
Love it. Thank you, Bronte. We'll chat to you both again in a little while. Suncorp Stadium looking an absolute beauty. Speaking of beauty, how good were the Melbourne Storm on a Friday night? They've booked their spot in another grand final, Freddie. They're 11th in 23 years under Craig Bellamy. Billy just said earlier the fact that it's so hard to even get to this point, and it got close towards the death, but all round they're just such a classy outfit and showed why they've been a powerhouse for the last few decades.
Well, I think it's an understatement to say they're consistent because they're consistently great. The standards they have in defence, that was one of the big differences early in the game, just winning those tackles, tackle after tackle after tackle. Not only that, I thought with the ball, Big Stefano, I thought made a huge impact early on. And the other part of the game, which I thought was very impressive, was the fact Cameron Munster, Jerome Hughes, Ryan Pappenhausen got tackled a lot. They ran a lot. They threw a lot of dummies. One of the biggest difference in the stats that I looked through was there was 55 dummies for Melbourne, while 7 for Cronulla. That just tells you a lot of the ball players, instead of passing, they ran. Munster ran for 200 metres, Jerome Hughes for 100 and something. They were very impressive.
The great players in the big games, and we're talking the Munsters, the Clearys, Ryan Pappenhausens, they just increase their involvement. You think about the 23 grand final with Nathan Cleary. He didn't do anything that he's not capable of doing. He just increased his opportunities to outlay his talent. And Cameron Munster does that in the big games. Last Friday night against the Sharks, he just got the ball more often and things just happen around him. I don't even think he plans for a lot of it, but he just plays the way he plays when he gets the footy in his hands. He's got a great dummy. He went through untouched there at one stage just by his deception and throwing the ball. He's such a strong runner. He was taking hit-ups there at one stage. So, yeah, the great players, they just increase their involvements in the big games.
Well, the hit-up, when Coates scored that try, he hit it up and left 2 players on the ground. Yeah. Harry got out of dummy half on the last play. Look, he's a superstar. And in the end, that was the difference. The superstars in the key positions for Melbourne, they got him home.
That try there to Pappenhausen, that was just before half-time. It was 2 tries apiece. They were going toe-to-toe with the Sharks, and that just sort of broke the drought. It just separated them at half-time, and then the Storm just suffocated their opposition in the second half.
That ended up being the difference because it was an 8-point difference.
Yeah.
And that was always, I thought Cronulla played to that 8-point difference, and there was a stage where they actually come down on the line, took the goal kick to go within 6, but then actually Melbourne kicked a goal a couple of minutes later. So that 8 points, I think, was always in the back of their mind and guided a bit of the way they played.
That try from Pappy, it was exactly as he'd predicted, I guess, in that pre-game interview with you when you said, when do you think you're looking to really inject yourself? And he said, probably just before that halftime, and we saw it. And he's had his struggles this year as well with injury, but once again, on the big stage, it was a great performance from Ryan Pappenhausen.
Yeah, and he actually played the ball 2 plays earlier. So involved in the set twice. Wasn't just content with the one play. Played the ball, then got back to his feet, connected with Munster, saw the opportunity, went after his game. That try-saving tackle was a big moment in the game as well. There were 3 players that have been hampered with injury over the back end of this year. Jerome Hughes, Will Warbrick and Ryan Pappenhausen. And they were 3 of the best players on the field. I thought their involvements were great. The other guy is Stefano Tuikamanu. He wasn't at the Melbourne Storm. He's only one of 2 players that will play in the grand final next week that wasn't there last year. And what an inclusion he's been. He's elevated himself to one of the best front rowers in the game, and he is the intimidator in the Melbourne Storm pack at the moment.
Now, we like to focus on the footy and the epic performance from the Storm, but there's been a bit of chat about the amount of penalties that were given and the performance from Ashley Klein. So Craig Fitzgibbon was pretty critical in that post-match media conference and had said the ball was only in play for about 22 minutes in that first half. I think the NRL have come out and said it was probably more 25, 26 minutes, but regardless, do you agree there were too many penalties, Freddie? I
just think it was a little bit sensitive for the game. I think in the game you got to give it a little bit of give it room to move and breathe, and I don't think he allowed that. There was a penalty very early against Nick Mooney, which I totally agreed with, and he was trying to set a standard. But I felt there's a lot of high tackles and a lot of contact penalties given that mostly weren't. The one where they went through and I think Xavier Coates came in and tackled someone, I thought that was, you're talking I just thought he was way too sensitive. And if you just wound that back a little bit, I don't think it actually dictated who won the game. But I just think it could have been mostly a better game with maybe some more points scored.
There's a couple for me. If an opposition rolls down the field and kicks to the corner and gets them a metre out from the try line, I think there was maybe 2 or 3 where they got pinged for offside. There's got to be a feel for the referee to say, Rodder, here's a reward. And if you're half a foot offside, play on, but then get back 11 metres, get them back a bit further. Look, you can have a penalty every ruck. You can look at it both ways. The players, you can say, well, stop wrestling and stop cheating, but it's never going to happen. It's a hard one for the refs because it's every ruck, if you want to be pedantic, you can find a penalty. But we all know the game's best when there's about 8, maybe 10 penalties blown. Let the game flow, get fatigue in the game so our creative players can create.
The hard thing for the referees is they're all warranted, right? All those actions warrant a penalty. It's about managing the game, and we've got so many referees with voices. Those offside penalties, they're called by the touch judges. So the referee in the middle can't ignore them. He needs to listen to them. Back in the old days when there was only one referee, well, he could manage the game. If they were a metre offside, we would just get back 11 metres. And just manage the game. The fatigue works everything out. So that's probably a little bit too many, but at the same time, they're all warranted too.
Freddie, you're saying the bunker doesn't tip? So I'm worried the bunker is in the referee's ear.
No.
Which would be horrible.
No, not always,
okay.
no.
Yeah.
No. The touch judge, they're in communication, and there's just lines of passages of communication.
Well, how can they have a feel for the game if someone's in their ear?
Well,
imagine playing and you're looking to go short side and the coach is going, no, go long side, kick. You'd be going, oh.
They pick everything up. Everything is picked up. Braden Trindle received a kick off Nico Hines. It sort of bounced back. It was a torpedo and bounced back. It was a metre offside. They pick everything up. If you think you can get away with anything in the game, think again, because they're right on the ball, the referees.
Well, thankfully, it didn't affect the result. Now that the Storm have locked a place in the grand final for next week, how much is last year and that drive for redemption in the back of their minds, Billy? I'm sure every athlete is different, but I know you've said over the last few weeks that you never forget the pain of losing a grand final.
There'll be 15 guys playing in the grand final this week that will have that deep motivation of last year. And when you lose a grand final, that burns until you actually go back and win one. And then it still burns a little bit after that. But they've given themselves a chance. That's the hardest thing, is go through the 10 months of training, of a 27-week home and away season, and then get it right in the finals to actually be back there. The huge advantage they do have is they've got a 9-day preparation into a grand final, which the teams that play today won't have.
Huge day next Sunday at Accor Stadium. So you can get your tickets on Monday for club members and on Tuesday for the general public. Who will they face, the Panthers or the Broncos? Coming up next on the Sunday Footy Show, we are going to preview an epic afternoon of prelim footy. See you in a sec.
It's days like this that give you chills being at the footy. Cleary's kicks charge now by Kickow. He goes chasing after it. He may well be off to the sin bin, Dylan Edwards.
She's always ready.
They're trying desperately to get it out to top. Oh, goes for the corner in one hand. Oh, Galvin rushed and absolutely crunched. And now Alamotti outpacing Burton. He gets to the last line of defence. There's no match for him. The Panthers are flying. They might have some numbers out right here. Cleary sends it to Tunga Alamotti down the wing. Alamotti gets to the fullback. Cleary in support. They've run in another bell-ringing try. Oh, what a tackle. They're in perfect field position here. Brilliant hands. That is absolute Panthers perfection. Kenny digs it through. It's another try to Penrith. This is an avalanche. You can't believe what you're seeing. That is unbelievable football. This might be the best 40 minutes any team has played all season.
Great kick.
Cleary from his own side of 40. Nathan's pulled up another one. Plucked it intercept. He's charging away. Paul Alamotti with an unchallenged run for the corner. Alamotti, a hat-trick. Panthers from last are through to the final four.
How good were those Penrith Panthers last week? Perhaps the best half of footy we have seen all season. They'll have to take it up here this afternoon here at Suncorp Stadium up against the Brisbane Broncos as they continue their charge for a 5th straight premiership. She's looking an absolute beauty today. Can you see, though? Yes,
No.
We've just come back into the sun. Freddy's
awesome.
squinting.
30 degrees. Let's get in the sun and do it. This would be a great idea.
Oh, good. You can take this off,
Didn't
though.
like the shade. You didn't like the shade. What's wrong with this shade? Do the show in the shade. Anyway, the
Hey.
players won't be in the shade today.
No,
and
they won't be.
I've got to say, the Panthers will love it. I can't believe their record in daytime
Daytime
games.
footy. Nathan hasn't lost one since 2019.
Like, that's crazy.
Wow.
But you understand, like, they get the fundamentals so right. They make very few errors. So, like, in Nathan's 5th tackle kicking game, so the start of their set and end of the set, they just know it backwards, and everyone does their job.
Well, they adapt too. You know, their preparation is as good as any. It's in particular Nathan Cleary. You think about that first final over in New Zealand. It was wet. It was windy. He kicked early in the tackle count to get field position, and then he ran the ball on the last. So he adapts to what the weather conditions are, and they're brilliant out here today. So he's going to use the football. I think it's two contrasts in style. I know the Broncos have been trying to play this grind game, but they're coming up against the team that loves to grind. Now, the Broncos, if they don't play their own style, they'll get beaten at Penrith's game. They need to shine today, the Broncos. They need to use the football and unlock some of their talent out wide.
Having Adam Reynolds helps, though.
Yeah.
Like, he's one player that can play the grind, and he won't panic. He's patient. He'll keep kicking the corners. Like a lot of players, like Ben Hunt, I don't think has that in his mentality. He wants to be atchy. He wants to run. He's trying to create stuff. Well, Adam Reynolds, he relaxes on the game like Nathan does.
it'll be a huge coaching performance today. I think this comes down to coaching. A 2-week preparation to come into a preliminary final. Now you've got a different halves partnership. Adam Reynolds hasn't played for a period of time, about 6 weeks.
Is there any chance he's rusty? I mean, I know
absolutely, absolutely. There's a chance. Like Joey would know more playing that position off the back of having 6 weeks off.
You can lose your feel a little bit of when to put the pedal down, when to kick, when to pass. He'll have a bit of rust, but you know what? He's so experienced. It'd be good to know early in the year over his career how he's gone, whether he likes to play fresh. I don't know, but he knows his way around the park. But yeah, there may be a little bit of rust.
Yeah, the other thing, the Broncos aren't flying at the moment. They were down 26-10 with 15 minutes to go in their first semi-final. Now Reece Walsh pulled them out of the fire, and he's done that over the last month. If they rely on that today, they won't be playing next week. I think they need to play football early in this contest. Sure, they need to complete their sets and play that field position, but they need to find the width of the field, and they need to inject their little fullback into the game earlier than they did down in Canberra.
Have you ever... Tell us about him, Bill, that performance in Canberra.
Well, I think it's been come. I think he's been really measured the last 6 weeks. Ever since those key guys went down in Melbourne, I think he's been really measured. He's been measured with his emotions. He's been measured with
extra responsibility.
I think it's helped him.
It's better for him.
Yeah, I think he loves it. I think the bigger the occasion, the more he enjoys playing the game. Like, he loves the game. And I can tell you he won't be thinking about coming out here and being the star attraction. He will be wanting to play his role within the team and doing all the tough little stuff in the game.
One of the big players that I think helped his game was Carrigan. He stepped up and took ownership. I thought for a while there, Reece was getting too much ball. Like their game got so frantic. It was just flying from side to side. And all of a sudden, Carrigan stepped up and went, no, give me the ball. You just wait. And so all of his opportunities were less, but they were better. And I think they're going to miss him a lot today.
I've been thinking about if you're playing Penrith, how would you play him? And in particular, Nathan. To stop Nathan, you've got to stop their back three. Last week, Dylan Edwards ran for over 200 metres, To'o 260, and then Alamonte 220 odd. I'd be kicking the ball out. I'd be kicking the ball out, giving my forwards a rest, taking their play 2 and play 3 out of it, try to break the rhythm of that grind. And if you do that, you're going to take time off Nathan. The back three is the key for Penrith. If you can stop them, you're pretty much stopping all Nathan's space.
The other thing is you can't wait until you get into that Westpac red zone to start playing footy.
Halfway.
Yeah, there's 2 red lines in the middle of the field, between the 40s. If you get into that zone, you get all your players behind the football, you need to play. You need to find the energy to play, because Penrith are a team that don't allow you to get down to that red zone.
If you go through the grand finals and the times that actually Nathan's been caught out, with speed especially, it's halfway. You look at the times when Ezra, Reece caught him, you go back to Pappenhausen off the scrum. It's when you get a little bit relaxed around halfway and you think you've got your comfort around you, and all of a sudden you get people with speed. And on a day like today, like that is a fast track.
Well, defences are passive. If you're defending Reece, you're coaching, right? You're coaching against Reece. Around the halfway, are you telling your centres and wingers to jam? Because your half can't double D on you.
I don't. I think it's dangerous when you start giving your centres a tunnel vision and an action that you want them to do. They've got to read it. They've got to feel it. You get all your preparation work done. And the other thing is you get your foundation done. And that's what Penrith will do today. They'll get their foundation done. They'll put Reece in the corner and they'll make him come out of trouble, and they'll try and reduce the amount of times that he gets to attack them.
That's why I get nervous for Brisbane today, because Penrith are very much like Melbourne. They're so methodical around the ruck. They get 3 tacklers in, they slow the game down, they get back on side. Melbourne did that the other night. It was so obvious the difference between Melbourne and Cronulla, just winning those ruck after ruck after ruck. Brisbane don't do that like Penrith. So the game will get loose every now and then for Brisbane, just because Penrith will have more quick play the ball. So that's where I get nervous for Brisbane.
Joey, you've got a bloke that was that close to winning a Clive Churchill medal, Ezra Mam, sitting on the bench. How do you inject him today?
I'd bring him on about 30th minute. I'd be putting Ben Hunt to hooker and put him on at 5'8". And his brief would be the same as Munster. Just run. You've got to be a run threat, because that's his strength. His speed down the left side, and that's where Reece likes to get. Think about the grand final a couple of years ago. Him and Reece put a clinic on down their left side. So.
He almost had the Clive Churchill
Yeah.
until the last 15 minutes from Nathan Cleary.
Yeah, the other option you have with Ben Hunt is you can move him into the middle of the field. We've played him through that middle of the field as a number 13, lock forward, ball playing guy. He defends well enough to be in the middle there. We've done that through Origin in the past, and I think he can handle that. He actually releases the ball out to the halves a little bit wider. So if the dummy half Corey Pakes is going well, I'd leave him on the field, bring a middle forward off and play Ben Hunt through the middle.
It'll be interesting what he does because he's got Tyson Smoothie at the moment at lock. He got Willison on the bench. He got Kobe Hetherington on the bench, and he got a 5'8" who plays in the middle a lot.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, I'm sure he's got a plan, but I've got no idea what he's going to do. Starting with Tyson Smoothie, I sort of wonder where. It just feels like it's going to be an interchange that might cost you late in the game.
I wouldn't be surprised if Kobe Hetherington starts a tackle machine, bring him on early in the game and get the foundation right.
Lots of question marks, lots of storylines, and an epic afternoon ahead here at Suncorp Stadium. 2 prelim finals to look forward to. The fans are loving it already. I'm sure some of them haven't slept after the Lions' victory overnight. But for now, let's check in with Joel Kane from Sportsbet.
Absolute blockbuster on its way. Cannot wait. The Panthers and the Broncos. Fresh the Broncos, but they're rolling the dice on a few here. How does this play out? Well, we spoke about this last week. The concern about the centre-left channel for the Penrith Panthers. As a result, we tipped you Jacob Preston. He went through a couple of times, so that's where they'll be going. I think it's Katoni Staggs, not really Jordan Ricky, who runs that hard-running line there on the edge. So I think it could be Katoni Staggs. Same game multi. Do we go Staggs and Reece Walsh? The kick option, as you saw with Liam Henry, that's certainly there as well. Clive Churchill medal, $31. Pat Carrigan. Can he do a Glenn Stewart where he was suspended? He needed his team to get there, and on the day, he paid them back. NRLW, Broncos big favourites here. And why? Because this lady is on fire. Tamika Upton, what about this? Last 10 games, 18 tries. It's green ticks everywhere. 6 times at least, 8 times at least, she has got at least one. 6 times a double, 3 times a treble. So for me, you're looking for the Tamika Upton 2 or more, 3 or more. That's the play. Who's going to take up the final spot in the grand final today in the NRL and the NRLW? Enjoy the match.
What's gambling really costing you? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.
Champagne Rugby League.
Our Champagne Rugby League moment of the week is going to Jocelyn Kelleher. Last night, her 50th match in the NRLW. No Taryn Aitken there for the Roosters. And she very calmly and coolly slotted that field goal to get the Roosters into yet another grand final. They have now won an incredible 18 matches in a row. John Strange was there on the sideline looking incredibly stressed, as you can imagine, but relieved that they are through to another big one next Sunday at Accor Stadium. What a moment, Alana Ferguson and Ruan Sims. Good afternoon to you both. That Jocelyn was able to own that moment because we know that Taryn Aitken is one of the best players in the world, so big shoes to fill, but special that she just absolutely nailed it.
Yeah, she did too. And look, she went in with the plan. You could see that they were setting up for it. I just think the way that the Roosters won, and they've done it a few times throughout the season, they're obviously a very impressive outfit, very well coached. But to be able to win in those conditions, the Sharks never went away. They really stuck it to them the entire game, and it took that field goal to win it. But the fact that Jocelyn was the one that put her hand up and to own that moment, the way that the Roosters won, I think they'll be heading into the grand final with somehow even more confidence that they could go about their footy and win a big game that way.
That was on the back of a 40-20.
Yeah.
She nailed it.
I think it was closer to a 30.
Yeah.
30-10. That was a boot.
She's led the way with kicking, hasn't she? She's been a competent kicker for quite a while now, and it's been one of the big assets to the Roosters.
And you had her in Origin camp as well, made her debut this year, so she's just gone to another level this year. But I guess for the Roosters as well, it showed that they can find different ways to win because, you know, they won convincingly for most of the year, but to be put under that pressure and have the resilience of having Bridie Parker sent to the sin bin, so they had 10 minutes right at the death with 12 players on the field, and they showed that they were able to hold on.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's not just being able to win convincingly every week. It's been finding different ways of winning, because you don't know what the opposition is going to bring. And I will say, I thought the Sharks went in with a really good game plan. They put a lot of work into their middles. They forced a lot of work into players that probably haven't had to work that hard throughout the year. And the Roosters still found a way to get the job done. And we spoke about it afterwards, and Isabel Kelly spoke about it too. You do a lot of game sim for this at training. You work with less players on the field in defence, more attackers, so that you have to continually scramble. And you can tell that they weren't put off by the fact that they were a player down. They just went about their work. They didn't panic. And I also have to say, Isabel Kelly scrambled like nothing I've ever seen. She came up with a couple of tackles from absolutely out of nowhere. She was awesome.
The problem with the Sharks' tactics, where they gave about 4 or 5 penalties for the Roosters coming out of trouble. Well, they did great jobs in their sets of 6 were fantastic. I think Anessa Biddle through the middle was dangerous. They just kept rolling the Roosters, which hasn't happened this year. And all of a sudden they gave penalties, relieving penalties. It was about 4 in a row.
Well, that was 7-3, the penalty count at halftime. The Sharks conceded 7 penalties, and I think 6 of them were yardage and late in the tackle count, which you just can't do at this high level. And even with all of those errors that they made, they still, obviously they forced that ball free there. They held up a couple, but you just can't keep a great team like the Roosters out for too long. If you continue to put your goal line defence under stress, it will crack at moments. But they did very well to get to 16-all with just 3-4 minutes left in the game.
So they have booked a spot in the grand final next week. Who will they play? Either the Broncos or the Newcastle Knights, who are in action a little bit later this afternoon. The Broncos have won 3 premierships in the NRLW. Alana, a star-studded lineup, but perhaps no bigger name than Tamika Upton, their superstar fullback. And all the chat when she came back to the club was she was the final piece of this premiership puzzle. How crucial is she this afternoon, knowing that she can almost do it all out there on the field?
Well, I think that's what makes Tamika Upton such a threat. And also throw in the fact that we're at Suncorp and the conditions are perfect. They suit her to an absolute T. Tamika Upton's not just the fullback that sits at the back and she'll join the long shift when the opportunity comes up. She'll support her middles through the middle. She'll jump into first receiver if they need that long shift. She's got a beautiful passing game, a lovely little attacking kick. So she's such a hard person to stop because you genuinely don't know what she's going to do. Is she going to run? Is she going to pass? Is she going to kick? So I think the key with trying to contain a Tamika Upton, not that you can do it for a full 80, but it's to actually stop that ascendancy through the middle so she doesn't get that front foot ball, because when she does, she can absolutely pick any option and she'll nail it every time.
For me, the key with Tamika Upton, she's quick on her feet, but she's even quicker between the ears. She's a very, very smart footballer. She identifies things really early. She identifies cues, and she sees the looks that she's after nice and early, and she calls the ball early and gets herself into position. And she presents really late when she does play off the back of a shift. So she's such a smart footballer. That's why you can never really keep her out of a game. But you have to work really hard from marker if you want to try and shut her down.
She's a fullback. You've got to keep kicking to her. You've got to keep finishing your sets and keep, especially a day like this, put her in a corner and ask her to bring it out, and then you've got to rely on her fitness and just hope that your markers keep getting there, because that's where she attacks you.
Well, that'll be Jessie's job, Jessie Southwell.
These are some of her highlights right here. It's crazy to think she's still so young, and she'll probably be pulling on green and gold at the end of the year, but she just continues to each week evolve her game and take it to a new level.
Yeah, well, and I think, Freddie, you'll probably agree with this. Watching Jessie Southwell, her game when she's taking the line on, but you spoke about her kicking game and Tamika Upton, how crucial that is. She's the one that builds pressure. Her team need to follow Jessie Southwell. They need to be off the back of her kicking game, but also in attack. She's playing that first off receiver. She's following the ball. She's the one keeping up with their play. So she's crucial, not just trying to put pressure on the Broncos, but also applying pressure in attack.
Yeah, big job. You've got to be organised today. It's very hot. So if you're running around, you're all free. Yeah, you're going to get fatigued. But if you're in control and your kicker's in control, your halves are steering you around, you watch the other team get tired and it gives you energy. So very important for the halves to take control today.
Well, she's another one who can come up with a great 40-30 option, and she does it early in the tackle count as well. So she's another one who's really smart between the ears, and I love the way she's played this year. I think she's really taken her game to another level.
Lots to look forward to this afternoon. And up next on the Sunday Footy Show is the Sunday Roast. We'll dive into all of the big issues in rugby league live from a magnificent Suncorp Stadium. Welcome back to the Sunday Footy Show. Time for our Sunday roast, dissecting all of the big topics in rugby league. There's a lot to get through, as always. Never a quiet week in this great game.
Rugby league.
A quiet day, even. Let's talk Mark Nwanganitawase. So just had the most incredible season for the Roosters.
Unbelievable.
But he's indicated to them that at the end of next year, he wants to head back to rugby union, most likely to play overseas. There's more money there, but with the rules currently in rugby at the moment, he still will be eligible then to play for the Wallabies at the World Cup.
So that's 100%. He's told the Roosters he's not playing.
He has indicated he would like to do that. So he hasn't signed
How do I feel about it?
Well, yes.
Well, I think, our athletes these days have so many options. And he's come from a rugby union background and rugby league, played juniors in both. So if he wants to go and play for the Wallabies, I think that's awesome. He's an incredible athlete, so plenty of people are going to enjoy watching him. From a point of view of playing for Australia, I think I'd go through other options before choosing Marky. I think the seasons he's had, he most surely deserves an opportunity there, but I think I'd be leaving Australian jerseys to players who love our game, are really committed to our game. I can see it as an opportunity to maybe find someone else if they're there. I don't know the depth at the moment because of so many players are playing for Samoa and Tonga, but yeah, I'd be very, stingy on who I give my jerseys out to.
I actually think there's a little bit of respect in letting the Roosters know early so that they can plan, for 2027 and beyond. And some of our great players have gone and played both codes. Sonny Bill Williams, Brad Thorne, Wendell and Lottie Takiri. So Matt Rogers is another one that comes to mind. I would actually go the other way. I think if you deserve to play for Australia at the end of this year and you're the best person for that position, you'd be in my team. So, I get the situation around loyalty and all that, but I think the game's sort of moved in this space, and I think he's had a wonderful year, and he's a part of the rugby league environment at the moment, and if he's the best person for the job, I'd be playing him.
So Joseph Suaalii obviously did it, and there was a lot of chat about whether he should pull on a rep jersey as well. Did play for New South Wales, and I mean, who knows whether or not he'll come back, but the Roosters have indicated that they'd be happy to have
Joseph back or Marky back.
Or Marky
They all come
both
back.
Originally.
They all
come back?
The game's too good. Rugby league is too good. You're too involved in our game not to come back. I get the temptation to go and play in the World Cup for the Wallabies, and we're all Australians. We want the Wallabies to do well as well. So, yeah, I think we can. The current climate with the environment around sport at the moment, people go, people come. Brad Thorne did it for a number of times, and he's one of the great players for Queensland, the Broncos and the All Blacks. So, yeah, I think it can happen.
Let's move on to Tom Trbojevic. I think it's still hard to believe that there's a chance that he'll be leaving Manly, but at this stage, as it stands right now, there's a 2-year offer on the table from Warrington. A deal was all but done at Manly, so he had agreed to their offer. Manly came back and then moved the goalposts. Michael Chambers has been all over this story for us, and essentially he's saying that in Turbo's view, it's not about the money, it's about the disrespect and the way the process has gone.
Well, if it's not about the money, then where's the disrespect?
Well, because he had agreed to...
But if it's not about the money, it doesn't matter.
Well, at other times he has agreed to take pay
So is it about the money or not?
The disrespect is about the money.
It's the disrespect about the money. I just think it's unprofessional. If they've offered Turbo, who...
He agreed to that.
He's a Northern Beaches man. He's been there. He said him and his brother and their family have just said they don't want to ever play against Manly. So I think from a point of view of who have they done it to, I don't understand. I haven't heard Manly's side either, by the way. So at the moment, if I'm him, I'm a bit concerned from the point of view of, you're going into your last contract most probably, and all of a sudden the club that you want to play for has come back and playing funny buggers, if that's the case. So I'd be dirty.
He's done a lot in the game. He's played at the highest level representatively. It comes down to what Tom Trbojevic wants. If he wants to break and go overseas and play in a different competition, I think that's the way he'll go. He's still got plenty to offer in the NRL. There just seems to be a little bit of a shift and a rebuild at Manly. The decision with Daly Cherry Evans was a little bit the same, just playing the low card with the offer and then seeing how that pans out. They've got some kids coming through, so maybe Manly aren't too unhappy with with losing some of their senior players and restarting again.
But if you are a senior player, are you starting to think you're worried about the way Manly goes about their business?
Well, do they really want me? That's the decision now. Is like, well, if you're taking that offer off the table and you're actually putting a lower one on, how much do you really value me?
I think the problem is it's all out in the media.
Yeah.
For some reason, we're all talking about it. If I'm going to the best clubs, they're not talking about it. You just spoke about Markey, Nawanganaitawase. He's talking to the Roosters now about 2 years in advance, and everyone seems really comfortable about what they're talking about.
Yeah.
And at Manly at the moment, we're saying their best player, their most loved player, for some reason, their clubs come back and change the offer, which just seems very unprofessional. So they have to get their ship in order.
Hopefully it all works out for Turbo. Moving on to Adam O'Brien, and the Dogs are interested in having him as an assistant coach to be in charge of their attack. And I know the criticism has been, well, the Knights' attack this year wasn't great. Had a tough injury toll. Billy, you spent time with him at the Melbourne Storm. Do you think he would be a good fit there at the Dogs under Cameron Ciraldo?
He spent 10 years at the Melbourne Storm, Adam O'Brien. I know in detail what he brings to a footy club. I think he has so much more to offer. And I actually don't look at his tenure at the Knights as a failure. He made 4 out of the 6 final series. The roster at the Knights, I think, is one of the lowest in the competition. Sure, they've got a couple of star players, in particular Kalen Ponga. He's been injured over the last few years and had some concussion issues as well. I think he's done a wonderful job. And we all think, when coaches move on or they get sacked or however it works out, we think it's a failure. Well, that's an experience that is invaluable. I think he would be a wonderful addition at any NRL club. So Adam O'Brien, he's got plenty to offer.
The last time he was an attack coach was the Roosters, 2019. So they won the comp.
What happened then?
Yeah.
They won the comp. So
and before that, it was 2017 at the Melbourne Storm.
Right.
Did pretty well there too.
There you go. So I think he's got plenty. The one thing that looks like he's got in his favour, he's a hard worker.
Yep.
So I think that Cameron Ciraldo looks like they work really hard there. So I think he'll suit their coaching staff.
For the Knights then, with Justin Holbrook taking over, obviously you've got Dylan Brown coming in. Do you see improvements in their attack, or how we saw Justin Holbrook take the Knights into the 8, I think in his second year there. So how realistic can we be with what we can expect from the Knights?
Well, at the moment, the Knights have moved pretty much all their staff on. So they're looking to not only sign a new coach, which they've just done, but go and sign other members and other staff members. So what they need to do is make sure what they don't see in Justin Holbrook is they get in other coaching staff. So some people say that he's not that hard on his players. Go and find a trainer that's hard on their players. What you got to do is just massage the coaching staff so everyone comes with something that adds value.
Comes in 2 parts for me. I think Holbrook's first priority is to build a hard-working footy team. If they don't build a hard-working footy team, it doesn't matter. Kalen Ponga, Dylan Brown, Fletcher Sharp, it doesn't matter who you've got, they won't be able to shine. And then if you can get that right, then Kalen Ponga's your man. I think Kalen Ponga's he plays fullback, but he's your halfback. He does a lot of the kicking and just frees Dylan Brown and Fletcher Sharp up with that responsibility. And if they can get that right, they'll be a dangerous footy team. But they need their star on the field in Kalen Ponga, and they need a hard-working footy team around him.
Big off-season ahead for the Newcastle Knights, and big afternoon ahead here on a glorious day at Suncorp Stadium. She's warm, so they're sinking some cold ones already up at the Caxton. Well, get ready for this. After the NRL Grand Final, we have passion and pride on full display. Yes, the Pacific Championships do return, and we have storylines galore this year. The Kangaroos are playing over in England, but so much to look forward to for Tonga, Samoa, and here at Suncorp Stadium, that match between the two nations here at this beautiful stadium is probably going to headline all of it. They always get epic crowds. It's going to be absolutely heaving.
That's on the 26th of October, 3 p.m. Sunday afternoon. I think it'll have an Origin-type feel about it. It'll be all blue and red, Tonga, Samoa, and some of the players that'll be playing in this game, incredible. The battle of the big men, Fanua Blake and Atua Kamanu for Tonga, up against Junior Polo and Payne Haas. That will be incredible.
The important part with these two teams at the moment is they've got depth. Players want to play for him, and they've got depth.
This is our
Look at that forward pack and
predicted
bench.
lineup.
Geez, you like playing halfback. You wouldn't have a shower after the game.
Stefano.
Not a bruise.
Iongi, he's had a great game. He's played fullback for Parramatta, but he could play in the halves for sure.
Well, if you go to the atmosphere at CommBank Stadium last year at the final when Australia beat Tonga, it was incredible. It went from screeching to singing to cheering. It was amazing. It was a totally different atmosphere that I've ever been part of at any game in Australia. It was incredible.
And you know how much it meant? The royal family was there last year.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, they actually flew out to Australia. So I don't know whether they'll be coming here to Suncorp. Look at the Samoan team. The difference now with the Pacific Island teams, they have halves. In years gone by, they haven't had halves. Look at those halves, Jerome and Blaze. And on the other side of Tonga, you got Izzy Katoa. So that's been the evolution in the last, half a dozen, 10 years?
Well, the other team's New Zealand. 2 years ago, New Zealand won it. They beat Australia. They flogged them in the final.
30-0, isn't it?
Yep. So this is going to be quite the contest.
It's going to be a great tournament.
Well, that 30-0 thrashing, that's a big part of the reason why Tino did commit to Australia, because he said it still burns and he has unfinished business. And we know what passion he does have for that jersey as well and for Australia. We even saw in Origin when he was in tears during the anthem. So it's nice to see Tino choose Australia. Not sure whether he will do that for the World Cup, but that's a massive in for Kevy.
It's a hard decision for these players, and it's easy for us to sit here and say you should play for Australia or you should play for Samoa. Like Tino's father was brought over from Samoa to play rugby league. He was actually brought over from Arthur Beetson. Arthur Beetson went over there and recruited him. He came over to Australia, met his mum, and they built a family up there in Gympie. So Tino's a Queenslander, he's an Australian, but he's got this Samoan heritage, and you can see the passion within these Samoans and Tongans. It's actually given our game another arm. It's given our game another bit of inspiration. So look, it's a tough one for us to sit here, but for those guys making the decisions, it's really hard.
Well, they've got to get it right. They've got to make their decision. I'd hate to be a coach at the moment.
Yeah.
If you're the coach, you shouldn't have to be ringing up players going, who are you going to pick? Who are you playing for? And start giving you case. They need to get players to announce who they want to play for, which is cool. And they play whoever they want to play for, which is fine. But you shouldn't have to, part of your job shouldn't have to be able to ring every player to see firstly if they want to play for my country.
It should be in your contract.
Absolutely.
Sign your contract.
They need to get
tick a box, and that's locked in.
Well, firstly, they've got to do a whole eligibility thing. The discussions around eligibility because of Samoa and Tonga are considered as part of the second-tier nation. So, they need to make a decision on that quickly and then work on so coaches aren't worried about, firstly, who's eligible to play for their country.
Well, all the games are live and free here on 9, or you can head online and get your tickets at nrl.com/tickets. Coming up next on the Sunday Footy Show, it is the award-winning segment, Turn It Up, with none other than the King, Wally Lewis. See you in a sec.
Turn it up, turn it up.
There's the kick for the wingers. Taken out by Lewis. Lewis has got a bit of room to move. He gets on the back and done.
He could play any type of game you wanted. He was skillful and creative, but he was also tough and brutal. And he let you know it. I think he let the crowd know it.
Here he comes, but Wally Lewis, listen to the boos when he hits this ground.
And I think he thrived on the fact that he was hated.
Won't faze the Emperor, let me tell you. Wally the King, just that'll motivate him if anything.
Most probably the most nervous I've ever been was actually as a kid on Origin week. I hated him.
Fifth tackle, Queensland, watch for the bomb. Now they're going to go from there. Oh, it's so easy. Wally Lewis has gone underneath for another try.
If there was no Wally, there'd be no Queensland spirit. So f*** you, Wally.
Well, he had this aura, and it just got bigger and bigger. Suddenly we realised we had possibly the greatest player of all time.
He saw things long before anybody else kind of realised what was going on out there.
Growing up, that's all I watched. I'd watch it and I think, we got him. And then the King. The King did King things, beat us over and over.
He's soaking up every second of this. Wally Lewis with his left eye. Crumbled into submission.
My first ever game I ever watched was State of Origin.
They take in these moments of glory.
So playing in the backyard with my number 6 Lewis jersey on, opposition teams probably knew in that moment when the game was in the balance, he was probably the man to stop. and they couldn't stop him.
Oh, look at New South Wales. They can't believe it. And that's a great comeback from Queensland. ABLT.
He's either thinking football. He's a footballer that thinks.
He's probably the best footballer in Australia ever, probably, I reckon. Top bloke, mate. God.
He did it. He did it with a swagger. He did it with an up yours. He was arrogant.
If you think about it, and his impact on Origin footy, it's hard to fathom. Hello and welcome to Turn It Up. Special day. We've got the king, Wally Lewis. Wally, thanks for coming on.
My pleasure, Joey.
All that stuff, Origin footy. What did it mean to you to represent Queensland?
It was the ultimate honour. I dreamed about playing representative footy one day. We used to come along and watch New South Wales really thrash Queensland year in, year out, and to be able to have our players come home, the ones that were based in Sydney, and go into a state of origin battle full of confidence. It was just the ultimate.
Wally, some comments there from some of our greatest players, our greatest coaches and greatest rugby league minds, talking about you like that. You nicknamed the king. How does all this sit with you?
Well, it's an honour, Billy, but I've got to say that the nickname The King was actually given to me as an insult. Ray Price gave it to me, and it was just before a State of Origin game kicked off, and they said to Ray, well, what do you think about Lewis? Will he be the player for Queensland to do it? And he said, oh, look, I'm sick and tired of hearing about him. He said, fair dinkum, he thinks he's the king anyway. And, and that went on and on and on and on, and it just never stopped. And Alfie and Gino and all the boys were again, King, come over here, King. Let's have a drink with you, King. So it really hasn't stopped ever since. So it's one that wasn't accepted all that comfortably.
You captained Queensland 29 times in the first 33 games. It was semi-professional back then. What would you say your leadership style was in that arena?
Well, I think I learnt what it was all about, the leadership. To be honest, mate, I probably didn't know too much about it. I wasn't a captain in my younger days. When I had the opportunity to be involved in conversations with Arthur Beetson all about leadership, and he used to say that's what the Queenslanders need, is some sort of leadership. I was around about the same age as all the rest of the guys, and I know you've probably heard me say this one 100 times, but we had a group of blokes that were all born in 1959 or 60. Colin Scott, Kerry Bowstead, Gene Miles, Melman Inga, Chris Close, myself, Mark Murray, Paul Vaughton, Wally Fullerton-Smith, Brian Niebling, Greg Dowling, Greg Kinescu and Dave Brown. Every one of those blokes was born in either 1959 or 1960, and by the time that we'd got to play senior grade footy, we'd played a whole pile of games against each other or alongside each other in the junior grades.
Well, when you were playing in the 80s at Origin, that's when I first started watching rugby league. I had an AFL background, and I used to record the games and re-watch them over and over and just study the way you played. And it sort of gave me, or influenced me a little bit the way, you always wanted the ball when the game was in the balance. That was something I learned watching you. But did you watch anyone or learn from any player in particular when you were growing up?
Beetson was the guy that I watched every time. We used to have to watch the Saturday afternoon games for the Sydney competition, and I loved the way that Arthur inspired those around him. And although we played a completely different game, it was fantastic to watch the way that he made the players alongside him come up with plays that they mightn't normally do. So I thought it was just a really easy way to be inspired myself to try and play a little bit better.
Billy asked you about your leadership. You'd take on Mark Geyer. He was bullying all you guys. So you could do it either way, Wally. You could do it with the ball defensively, but then you stood up and wanted to fight MG.
Yeah.
Talk about standing up with the bully here, it is.
That was absolute stupidity on my part. He's a lot bigger than me, a lot tougher, probably won a lot more fights. I don't think I ever did win one. We're just trying to inspire the Queensland blokes to be able to go out and not take anything from New South Wales. They were all about being very very dominant in that game, and to try and stand up. I didn't think he was going to throw one, or I was very hopeful he wasn't going to throw one. I'd still be snoring.
You speak about inspiration, and who in today's game do you love watching? Who's the player that you just love keeping your eye on when they play today?
Harry Grant.
Yeah.
Love watching him play. Love watching the way that he's sort of taken on some of the directions from a wonderful coach. And I think that the way that he's inspired those around him has done some wonderful things for Melbourne Storm. And as you know, Billy, I'm a chronic Melbourne Storm fan. Have enjoyed watching them for a long, long time. And I think Harry's certainly taken over a lot of the things that some of the older players have done.
Yeah. JT, Lockie, you got to wear the number 6 maroon jersey. What did that mean?
Yeah, well, there's only a handful of games that I've ever really been nervous for, and that was wearing the number 6 after Lockie for the Kangaroos. And I remember in 2008 when he did his knee, Scotty Prince come into number 7, and I was moved to number 6. In that series, I was extremely nervous because of the players that came before me that wore that number 6 jersey and just trying to do the best in that position. Like, King made the number 6 in that jersey, you know. He put number 6 on the map, and then Lockie, and so you just try and do your best there.
Well, what I said before, I used to watch the games on repeat, and the number 6 Queensland jersey is the most famous ever. So to actually get the jersey and have to wear it and fulfil your responsibility was a huge, a lot of expectation on that, but also a huge responsibility. But just being able to wear it, the jersey after someone like Wally Lewis was very, very special.
Wally, on the field, you're pretty much invincible, bulletproof, but you've had some health battles after your career finished. How did all that feel going through all those challenges that you can't really control that stuff?
No. Well, the early ones was the epilepsy times, Billy, when I went to Melbourne, and you were kind enough to spend plenty of time with me and help me fit in very well at Melbourne. I've got to thank the doctors at the Austin Hospital down there that have allowed me to enjoy life all over again. I haven't had a seizure since that occasion where I went to the hospital, and that was 2007 when the surgery took place. And it was fantastic. So I got to thank you guys and Melbourne Storm for taking me on and giving me the opportunity to be able to talk about footy, even when part of my brain was removed. And I get told by my good mate Gene Miles these days that I must have taken a considerable amount because there's not much left.
Wally, you're an immortal, but unfortunately we don't live forever. When you do kick the bucket, where are you going to be buried? There's talk you're going to be buried here.
Yeah, that's the story. I said both of my grandparents live within 300 metres of the ground here. I've been told plenty of times that I've been here that they hope I do die here, and it's as soon as possible. There's an area out the front, but I think that was it was almost a. It wasn't quite a joke, but it was brought up. But I've spent enough time in this place. I should be buried here.
You've buried plenty of opposition here, so it might be fitting. Hey, big game this afternoon, Wall, and talk about some of your heroics out here on this field. If you could play one more game, what jersey would it be?
A Queensland jersey. Yeah, love to do it. I loved all of my time playing for Queensland, and I don't mean to be disrespectful to New South Wales, but it was something that it was the greatest challenge for me when I was wearing the maroon jersey, and I got the opportunity to be able to enjoy some success. I do it here at Lang Park or Suncorp Stadium. If I did it in Sydney, I know I'd get the Wally's a wanker would come out straight away, but it'd be an opportunity, I think, to take a trip down memory lane.
What about the Broncos today? What do you think?
Yeah, well, they're a bunch of young men that have got plenty of opportunities. They've got some great challenges in front of them. Not too many people do expect them to win. I think, you have a look at the opposition they're up against, who have got some pretty great challenges in front of them. They've had some tough times throughout the course of this year, but I think that it's certainly going to be a game that we're not going to forget for a long time.
Before the Broncos come in, Brisbane League, play for Valleys and Wynnum. Was there ever an opportunity for you to go to Sydney and play in the New South Wales Rugby League?
Yeah, well, it's the well-known one. I know you guys have heard it 100 times that I wanted to. Unfortunately, the club that I was playing for, they went broke, so it was an opportunity to get to play in Sydney. Gene Miles and myself both flew down. Kerry Packer, the great late great Kerry Packer, was wonderful enough to fly us to Sydney, and we got the chance to tell him how much it was going to cost Manly to get us there.
100. 120.
Well, we were only going to ask for a shorter one than that, but we asked for a little bit more than that. 150 might have come in.
150.
And Mr. Packer sort of just took us in and said, "You're easy. Get out and get the next bloke in." Gino walked in and he asked for his money and he got it, but unfortunately we didn't get the chance to be able to do it. And there's been plenty of people very happy about that. Freddy was one.
Yeah.
He said, "You would have taken the captaincy off me," and he said, anyway, he said, "I couldn't cop you." He said, "Imagine having to put up with you every day of the week."
Well, thanks for coming on, Wal. All our heroes, even though you're a Queenslander. But thanks for coming on, mate. We absolutely love you. And I think, is Freddy up to Caxton? So after the break, you're going to see Freddy at the Caxton. So
he'll be welcome.
This will be real good.
Go the Panthers, you beauty! 5 25.
Welcome to the passing competition. So no bloody arguments, you understand? No foot fault there, Greedy. And a 10. No pressure, Luke. This is one of the more important things that happens here on a Sunday, understand? Oh, beautiful. Rounds of applause.
Welcome back to the Sunday Footy Show. We're up here now at the Caxton. Is everyone getting warm? Yeah. Everyone getting full? Everyone getting full? Yeah? What's better, the hot dog or the beer?
The beer, definitely. Definitely the beer.
I just
Freddy,
watched
don't eat
you
the sausage, don't do it.
devour that. Show us your bite.
Show us the bite?
That's a big bite.
Show us the bite. Sauce around your mouth, mate.
Oh, yeah. Sharing's caring.
And straight into the rums. No problem with the time?
Nah, just straight into them. Yep.
Awesome. Broncos?
Yeah. Well, I'm actually going for Melbourne. I'm here for Dad.
Dad, you proud of your son? Bourbon? Rum?
Rums, yeah, we're on the rums.
You be in a fight later on this week?
No.
All right, let's get back here. We've got Damo and Jesse.
Jesse, Damo.
Jesse, Damo. We've got Sammy. Sammy, how long you been here for?
I've been here all morning, actually. I started off at Howard Smith Walls. I've worked my way close to the stadium. I'm here at the Caxton. I've been here for a few hours now.
How many
I forgot
orange
my watch.
juices have you had?
Well, the next best thing to toilet water is 4X up here, and yeah, I've had one.
He's had one?
I've had one.
All right, introduce the lads.
Jess, mate, you're here actually for the uni games.
I'm here for the uni games.
Going down the Gold Coast. You are a half though, aren't you?
I'm a half, yeah. Love the half back.
So I'm a bit nervous.
Really?
Yeah.
Shouldn't be. No, I think you'll do good. You're a half back at Blood.
Yeah, that's it.
Sammy, how are you?
Now, what position do you play? Damo.
Damo, usually play 5'8", so hopefully the pass is all right. See how I go.
You boys versus me. I'm gonna pass 10 first. Is that right?
You got 10, all right.
And then, yeah, you ball boy for me. And then
you need to be up there. We need one more person.
to help out.
Come
All
in.
right.
Come in.
I'm gonna drop the mic here.
You're going to give the ball to Sammy, all right? Come over here. Here we go. Yeah, you got 10 passes. You got to give the ball to Sammy. Yeah, there you go. Ready? When you're ready, Sammy. There's a 7. Yo. There's a 14. It's 14. 21. 31. Oh, it's just bullseyes. Yeah, sorry. 2 bullseyes. 3 bullseyes. 4 to go. Oh, yeah. That's it. How many do you get? 5. Not bad.
I got 5.
Right.
I've got to be 5.
Who's up? Jesse's up.
This is for
Be on the line,
this is
mate.
for tickets.
When
This
you're
is for
ready.
tickets to the game.
You've got 5 passes.
You've got to get it in the middle, just there. Just in there. You got to get it in there.
That was a dud.
You got to get it in the middle.
Okay.
So just about there.
Oh, yeah, that's one. That's
In the
one.
middle.
That's one. Oh, 2 to go.
There we go.
There's 2. Oh, yeah, there's 3. That's That's it, mate.
Hey!
Get out.
Change over. That was good.
Let's go, Damo.
Just in the middle.
You got to
Just
get
about
2.
here.
You got to get 2 to get your tickets. 2 to get the tickets.
Oh. Foot foul.
Pressure.
Oh.
Pressure.
Wait up.
Here we go. 3 to go. Oh, yeah.
Offload.
One more.
He didn't want it.
Yo, yeah, got the tickets.
Oh.
Here you go.
Well done.
Great effort.
Well done. Hey, enjoy the game, guys. Enjoy the game.
Yeah, the boys won some tickets to the game.
Well done. Can we get 2 4Xs, please? Thank you. Thank you. 2 4Xs?
That's it from me and Sam. We're going to have here a little orange juice.
Yeah.
We've got the NRLW next, the Broncos versus the Knights. Enjoy your afternoon. Prelim day.